Will you dare to play an opening that gives you an isolated queen's pawn? Or do you still think it's more of a weakness than an asset? In today's video, I'll show you why the IQP is a dynamic weapon, not a weakness. We'll analyze a game between Smyslov and young Karpov, where Smyslov's brilliant play not only dominated Karpov, but created a blueprint followed by strong players for decades. And make sure to stay till the end, because there I will explain different move orders so you can play this kind of attacking scheme in your own games. Now let's dive into the game and see how Smyslov uses the IQP to defeat one of the best defenders in chess history. So let's get into it. c4, c5, knight f3, knight f6, knight c3. You might be wondering what are we doing in the English opening, but as I told you, the IQP appears from every sort of opening. So you'll see why this will transpose to a normal Caro Campanov or even a lapping from the Sicilian or a Queen's Gambit. Yeah, I'll explain that at the end of the video. You'll see why this position is so universal. You can play it from a wide variety of opening lines. But let's continue. d5, c takes d5, knight takes d5, and surprisingly e3. Yeah, because usually when you play the English opening, you play g3. But this would be a completely different kind of position. We're aiming for an IQP, so e3 is the right way to go. e6 and d4. Yeah, we can see it clear now. We are ready to bring the bishop to d3 or c4. c takes d4, e takes d4, bishop e7. Yeah, it comes the moment to choose where to place the bishop. Smyslov placed it on d3, completely normal. Yeah, he's putting pressure in black's king side. This is absolutely normal, as yeah, we are intending to create weaknesses later there. And well, but the other normal move actually is bishop c4, because d5 is a key square. Both are normal, but bishop d3 I would say is a little bit more ambitious. Castle, castle, knight c6, and well, this is an important moment. What to do? Yeah, the thing is that our dark square bishop hasn't got nice squares to go. I mean, g5 and f4 aren't available. This knight is well centralized. Trading the knight right away wouldn't be a great idea. After queen takes d5, our pawn seems more exposed. So yeah, we want them to trade. But we want them to, I mean, let me play whatever, h3, and if they trade, we are happier because our pawn is defended, our knight is freer. The right way to continue here is rook e1. You can feel that this rook is doing absolutely nothing here, as we don't have any other way to improve our position. Yeah, this one seems completely normal and will be really helpful, as you will see. So now knight f6, a bit mysterious, but the idea is simple. They want to play b6, but if they play b6 now, they run into knight takes d5, queen takes d5, as I told you before, to attack our pawn, but this time it fails because of bishop e4. Now you can see the use of the rook placed on e1, and after queen d6, defending the knight, everything seems in order. They are going to play bishop b7, but we can play this, attacking both h7 and c6, and this looks very superior for us. So yeah, this is the reason they cannot play b6. Rook e1, knight f6. Now we understand what's the idea. They want to play b6, and yeah, this is a key position. Yeah, the most obvious move would be bishop g5, but a3, b6, followed by bishop c2, with the intention of playing queen d3, putting pressure on h7, is a very tricky idea, as you will see. Bishop b7, queen d3, yeah, now h7 is attacked, the knight cannot move, and Karpov played the careless rook c8. Yeah, it looks completely normal, but it is actually a mistake. Yeah, the game continued with bishop g5. That is not the way to punish rook c8. Yeah, how to punish rook c8? Yeah, bishop g5 seems absolutely normal, but it's not the strongest move. So the strongest move is d5. Yeah, and this one is really strong. To survive to d5 is really difficult. Yeah, the most obvious is knight takes d5, simply runs into checkmate in 1. But e takes d5 runs into bishop g5. Yeah, now we're threatening bishop takes f6 and checkmate on h7. So g6 seems normal, but actually is losing right away. Yeah, the move is rook takes e7, forcing queen takes e7, otherwise f6 is simply falling to knight e7, bishop f6. Queen takes e7, knight takes d5, forces knight takes d5, bishop takes e7, knight e7, and bishop b3. Seems winning, yeah, but still we have to be precise to take the point home. Still we need to create weaknesses, straight pieces. Yeah, it's not so easy, and as they may display some piece activity. Well, so after bishop d5, knight e4 is the only way to stay alive. Knight takes e4, d takes e4, queen takes e4, and this is a winning position, but it's not so easy. Yeah, the thing is that after g6, you may think that we are winning a piece, but we are not, because the bishop on c2 is hanging. So playing bishop takes e7 leads nowhere. After queen takes e7, queen takes e7, knight takes e7, rook takes e7. We are attacking the bishop, but bishop takes f3. And yeah, our bishop is still hanging. This is sort of equal. So instead of taking on e7, queen h4 is a nice way to put pressure. Yeah, the pressure here, and if they trade, our knight is going to come close and put pressure on our h7. So black's position is really difficult to play. Yeah, I've seen some games, and typically they play bishop takes g5, knight takes g5, h5, and this is lost after bishop takes g6. Yeah, f takes g6, check, king h8. Of course, king g7 loses right away to knight e6, the royal fork. So king h8, knight f7, rook takes f7, queen takes f7, and the bishop is attacked, the pawn is attacked, and rook c7 cannot be played because of rook e8. So black is lost and ended up losing in the game. Baron Rodriguez versus Aparicio Navarro, Spain, 2004. So I mean, this position is hopeless. Yeah, those pawns are going to fall, and black's king is too open, so to stay alive. Well, so instead of bishop takes g5, rook e8 seems more resilient, but it isn't, because rook e8 weakens f7, and bishop b3 is a wonderful move. Yeah, it's a fantastic move to highlight the weakness of f7. And yes, I don't know, it's really difficult to play. I mean, we are about to play bishop takes f7, and getting to h7 would be winning. So h5, stopping bishop takes f7. But anyways, yeah, we have a fantastic maneuver here to win. I guess there are several ways to win, but queen f4, threatening queen takes f7, forces rook f8. And now with this one, it's attacked twice and defended twice. But here we have a double attack with queen e4. Yeah, this is a fantastic move. So bishop takes g5, queen takes g6, taking advantage of the pin, king h8, queen h5, and yeah, next move we are going to capture on g5 and game over. So yeah, the position is really difficult for black after queen h4, and yeah, this could have been a devastating move, but Smyslov didn't play it. He played bishop g5. Now he's threatening bishop takes f6 and queen h7, so g6 is forced, and yeah, now we should complete the development by bringing the rook to d1. Smyslov is just trying to improve his pieces. And well, he's just waiting for black to move because it is really difficult. One of our intentions can be d5 and opening the game again, but we have some other ideas, as you will see very soon. Well, the game continued with knight d5. Now, after knight d5, bishop h6, rook e8, and this is a very important moment. Yeah, he came up with a very special move. Yeah, he played the surprising bishop a4. Yeah, usually I have heard that switching to this diagonal, once that g6 is created, switching to this diagonal is promising, as you will put pressure on e6, on d5, sometimes even on f7. But playing bishop a4 seems so difficult to understand. Yeah, and the thing is that he's trying to stop this knight from moving, and he's trying to provoke a6. So the game continues actually with a6. Now knight takes d5, queen takes d5. So now, why to play? What could you play? Well, Smyslov played queen e3, a beautiful move. Not only defense, but it x-rays b6. You'll see that the advance of the d-pawn sometimes will be followed by queen takes b6. So he's diversifying the threats, not only the king side, the center, the queen side. He's dominating the whole board. Curiously, this position has been reached several times. Yeah, there are games of Adams versus Duetling. Even Karpov played it again against Beliavsky. Yeah, and here against queen e3, Karpov played bishop f6, what is completely normal, bishop b3, and this is a critical position. Where to place the queen? Queen d7 may seem normal, but then d5. You can see the idea of queen e3. Sometimes it defended the bishop, but sometimes it attacks b6. So after e takes d5, queen takes b6, black's position seems to be a little bit destroyed. This is another game from Karpov. This is Beliavsky-Karpov in 1986. So rook takes e1, rook takes e1, bishop takes b2, bishop takes d5. Yeah, now he's threatening queen takes b2, bishop g7, bishop takes g7, king takes g7, queen b2. This wasn't played. Beliavsky played something else, king g8, and bishop a2. And I like this position. Both diagonals are very strong. Yeah, they're combined, they're forced very well. Those pieces are. And black's pieces are doing absolutely nothing. Karpov is bringing all the power in a couple of moves with queen f6, h4, h5. I mean, this is, yeah, close to lost. Queen d8 also played, but after knight e5, yeah, white's position is fantastic. This is Adams versus Duetling in France 2002. Yeah, this is a really difficult position to play. The normal move, knight takes e5, d takes e5, and the queen gets attacked, the bishop is attacked, so we win a piece. Instead, knight e5 might be answered by bishop takes e5, d takes e5, but of course, yeah, the weakness on dark squares this time, yeah, seems to be so desperate. Yeah, queen c7, rook c1, followed by queen f4. Yeah, and Michael Adams went on to win this game nicely. So queen d8, knight e5 seems really strong. We're even threatening knight f7 and bishop e6. So, for instance, knight a5, knight takes f7 cannot be taken because of bishop takes e6, and this is almost mate. So the game continues with queen h5, seems active, but it's a complete disaster. Smyslov pushes d5, e takes d5 leads to checkmate, queen takes e8, rook takes e8, rook takes e8, checkmate, and yeah, it's really tough to come up with something. Karpov played knight e8, and as usual, passed pawns should advance. Yeah, this pawn is reaching d7, winning material. So the game continues with rook c5, running away from the power of the pawn. d7, he may resign, but he played rook e7. Queen f4, beautifully trying to capture the bishop, but also to play queen b8, pinning the knight. Bishop g7, and yeah, as I told you, queen b8. And yeah, this knight is a blocker of Smyslov's passed pawn, so yeah, this pawn is going to queen. Queen takes h6, queen takes d8, bishop f8. And here, yeah, there are several moves that win, but Smyslov plays it safe, rook e3. He doesn't want to weaken his king. And yeah, now he is threatening queen takes f8, and the game is, yeah, over. Bishop c6, queen takes f8, queen takes f8, d8. And finally Karpov resigned, he's a piece down, and yeah, there is absolutely no compensation for it. There are several ways to get to the IQP in this kind of scheme, the attacking scheme. Usually the Caro-Kann is the most common. I'll show you that you can reach it from the Alapin. Yeah, this is very typical, to reach it from the Sicilian Alapin, from the Nimzo-Indian, and from the Queen's Gambit. Yeah, let's see it. e4, c6, d4, d5, e takes d5, c takes d5, c4, the Panov attack, knight f6, knight c3, e6, knight f3, bishop e7, c takes d5, knight takes d5, and bishop d3. And you can see that we are heading to this kind of position. Castle, castle, knight c6, and rook e1. Yeah, and here we are now. We reached the same position. Well, from the Sicilian, after c3, d5, e takes d5, queen takes d5, d4, knight f6, knight f3, e6, bishop d3, c takes d4, c takes d4, bishop e7, knight c3, queen d8, castle, castle, rook e1, knight c6, and a3, and here we are again. So as you can see, it's very easy to get to that tabia, yeah, from various openings. From the Queen's Gambit, we have the semi-tarrage on the Nimzo-Indian and the double Queen's Gambit. Yeah, let me show you. Now, after knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, d5, knight c3. Now c5 is what it's called the semi-tarrage. C takes d5, knight takes d5. If after c takes d4, e takes d4, bishop e7, bishop d3, castle, castle, knight c6, rook e1, and we are in the same kind of position again. Yeah, and well, from the Nimzo-Indian, after bishop b4, e3, castle, bishop d3, d5, knight f3, c5, castle, c takes d4, e takes d4, d takes c4, bishop takes c4, b6, the so-called Karpov variation of the Nimzo-Indian. So now rook e1, bishop b7, bishop d3, knight c6, a3, and bishop e7. Yeah, they're not interested to trade the bishop for the knight, so they go back. We'll waste the tempo with our bishop, moving it back to d3, but they lose the tempo by moving back the bishop to e7. So now bishop c2, rook c8, queen d3. Yeah, it is a tempo down, but here, as we are threatening d5, they play g6, and we regain the tempo by playing bishop h6, rook e8, rook a d1, and yeah, this is the same position as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, the last one, d4, d5, c4, c5, the so-called double Queen's Gambit, c takes d5, queen takes d5, e3, c takes d4, and knight c3. Yeah, it's a very important thing to do to attack the queen right away. Queen d8, e takes d4, and we are heading to this kind of position, knight f6, knight f3, e6, bishop d3, and yeah, after bishop e7, castle, castle, rook e1, knight c6, a3, and not only heading to this kind of position, we are heading to this exact position. Okay, that was it. I hope you enjoyed the video and you like the ideas. I hope you are able to play this in your games. Yeah, tell me your experiences playing the IQP. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel in case you haven't done it. Thank you very much and see you next time. Goodbye.